Ahoy folks, and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So, new weapons are out with the Grim Protocols, and let's jump in and take a look at the Psyker. I will caveat this is not a meta build, this is a day one testing out how things work, just a fun build to use. Okay? So, don't come back at me going, oh, I can't do Havoc, I can't do Orc with this. Yeah, I know. It's a good build, but it is not optimized yet, okay? Let's jump in. So, of course, we're using the Blaze Force Sword. Oh, the Blaze Force Greatsword. More fancy. I've not leveled Mastery up on this yet. I've just played around a bit. So, what we're going to do, though, for the modifiers, we're going to dump out Defense. That is going to be our dump stat. And for the perks, we're going to go with Flak and Maniac for now, to help get down those pesky targets. As for the blessings, well, let's jump in and take a look at them, shall we? Where the hell is it? There it is. So, what have we got? We have Deflector. Very good. This weapon blocks both melee and range attacks. Additional block costs is reduced by 22%. It's going to be a lot higher when it's maxed out. We've got Wrath. We've got Shred. We've got Riposte. Precognition. Momentum. Oh, Momentum is actually quite nice. Murderous Tranquility. There you go. Hitting at least 3 enemies with an attack quells 2% perils. Now that is going to work very well with this build. And we've also got Blazing Spirit, Unstable Power, and a new one which is Warp Slice. Guaranteed activated critical strike, 50-second cooldown. Guaranteed activated critical strike. I guess that's when you activate it, I guess. So, let's look at it. The Great Force Sword. It's quite funny. Big sweeping attacks. There's quite a lot of damage. And if you charge the bad boy up, you also send out lots of spinning blades. I really like this thing. It's stupid. It's great. Darktide needs more fun weapons that do stupid things. So, we are actually going to go for a Scriers Gaze build. And in this, we're going to be using a Recon lasgun. As I said, not completely optimized yet, but it does work. Okay, so for the modifiers on the Recon lasgun, we're going to be using mobility as our dump stat, everything else you want at 80. For the perks, we're going with Unyielding, so we can lay down damage into monstrosities, and Flak, because it's the most prevalent armor type in the game. At the moment, we're still using Infernus and Dum Dum, though this may change. Infernus and Dum Dum do work very well on this build, which gives us plus 4 stacks on critical hit to a maximum of 12 stacks of burning, and Dum Dum gives us plus 6% close range damage on repeated hit stacks 5 times. Now, for the Curios, we're using a spread at the moment. We're using a Toughness Curio with 5% Toughness, 4% Combat Ability Regeneration, and 20% Damage Resistance Gunners. We're using a Health Curio for 5% Health, 4% Combat Ability Regeneration, and 20% Damage Resistance to Gunners. And, of course, the mandatory Stamina Curio. Now, I have explained many times why this is important. I'm not going to do it again. If you want to, I will pin it down in the comments why Stamina is good on the Psyker, which gives us a plus 5% Toughness, 4% Combat Ability Regeneration, and 20% Damage Resistance to Gunners. Now this is going to give us a nice rounded Curio usage, and it's fun. I like this build. I haven't liked the Psyker for a while, and this build is just good, clean fun. So let's look at the build. We're going to start off over here with Metal. Critical hits critical hits replenish 5% toughness, also grant 5% movement speed for 4 seconds, stacks 3 times. Then we're going for Soul Stealer, replenish 7.5% toughness on a warp attack kill. This works with Assail, the Force Sword, so on and so forth. Perilous Combustion, killing an elite or special enemy, applies 3 stacks of Soul Blaze to the nearby enemies, causing damage over time. Then into Quietude, replenish 5% toughness for each 10% of perils quelled. Battle Meditation, 10% chance to quell 10% peril on kill. Into Toughness Boost, and then we're going to be picking up Assail. Throw swift homing projectiles formed of psychic energy, less affected versus carapace armored enemies. And then we're taking Ethereal Shards. Projectiles from Assail now pierce additional targets. And Quick Shards, Assail charge replenish 30% faster. Then into toughness damage reduction, into malefic momentum, 4% damage to warp attacks for 8 seconds after a non-warp based kill, stacks 5 times, plus 4% damage to non-warp attacks for 8 seconds after a warp based kill, stacks 5 times. This basically gun, assail, sword, sword charged up. So basically using the sword the 2 different ways can proc this. Down into toughness damage reduction, into prescience, you and your allies' incoherency gain 5% critical chance. Then into toughness damage reduction, into one with the warp, gain toughness damage reduction of 10 to 33% based on your current peril. We're going to be running at high perils most of the time. Empathic evasion, a critical hit makes you count as dodging against ranged attacks for 1 second. Into Scriers gaze. Triggers Scriers gaze. When entering Scriers gaze, you gain 10% damage, 20% critical chance, and suppression immunity for every second in Scriers gaze. You gain 1% damage up to a maximum plus 30. This effect lingers for 10 seconds after leaving Scriers gaze. While in Scriers gaze, you build up peril. Build up is temporarily slowed down by enemy kills at 100% peril. Scriers gaze is ended. Then into endurance, Scriers gaze now grants plus 20% toughness damage reduction while active. Weak spot kills count as 1 second spent in Scriers gaze. For each second spent, you now also gain 1% finesse damage to a maximum of 30%, which lingers for 10 seconds after leaving. I'm not saying it anymore, I'm getting bored of the word. And then Warp Unbound now also prevents overloading from perils of the warp during its lingering effect. This is very, very good. It stops you from exploding, basically. Then into critical chance boost, then into a health boost, and then we're picking up Warp Rider. Deal up to 20% damage increases as your perils increases. As you can see, we are riding perils to a crazy, crazy level in this. Into kinetic deflection, while below critical perils, blocking an attack causes you to gain perils instead of losing stamina. Gained peril is 25% of the block attack's stamina. And now people are going to say, why are you taking a stamina cure if you're taking kinetic deflection? Because it doesn't always work. And also, you need it. It says while below critical perils, yes, but we're going to be at critical perils a lot of the time. So more stamina allows us to block more and not die. We're a Psyker, we're not an Ogryn. We need to be able to move, we need to be able to block, we need to not be hit. Then into movement speed, and then into true aim. Landing 5 weak spot hits grants your next range attack a guaranteed critical strike. Can only occur once per attack. Toughness boost, then into Disrupt Destiny. Every second, enemies within 25 meters have a chance of being marked. Killing a marked enemy replenishes 10% toughness. It also grants plus 20% movement speed for 2.5 seconds and adds a precision bonus for 4 seconds. Each precision bonus grants 1% damage, 2% critical damage, and 2.5% weak spot damage. Precision bonus stacks 15 times, and when the duration ends, 1 stack is removed and the duration is refreshed. So you only lose 1 stack at a time. Then into Lingering Influence, increases the duration of Disrupt Destiny from 4 to 10 seconds. And then Cruel Fortune, weak spot kills grant 2 additional stacks of Disrupt Destiny. So, it doesn't work in here, annoyingly. And I can't be bothered to mod it. So basically, Disrupt Destiny, you'll get a blue haze around a target. You murder that target, and you get a stack. And with this build, we can quite happily pop Scrier's Gaze, blow the absolute hell out of everything, and also if we need to, we can jump in with the Greatsword and start hacking things to absolute pieces. And then we can charge up the sword and get things rolling. I have not quite unlocked yet the different marks, or have I? No, I have not. Level 7. But as you can see, the Mark 5, 6, Mark 8, God, I can't read the Roman numerals. The Mark 8 is light attack and heavy attack. It's a bit lower in damage, whereas the Mark 6 has much higher heavy attack damage. I haven't played with the Marks yet because I've literally just finished doing the Ogryn and the Zealot. This is the beginning of the Psyker. But when we have more information, I of course will make updated build guides for all 3 classes. Unfortunately, the veteran didn't get anything nice. Apparently we're getting something after Christmas for him. But there you go, folks. A very quick intro to how I've been playing with the Psyker with his new weapon. Basically, by playing him like not a Psyker. I'm just having fun with Scriers gaze. This build does work in Auric. I have tested it today. It did fine. It's a little bit sketchy here and there, but that's more just learning how the new weapons play. So I really do hope you enjoy the build. If you do, please do like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. It really does help us out, and I shall see you all for the next one. So until then, take it easy, and I'll see you later.